Welcome everybody to the Anime-Versal Reviews podcast, where we review anime, just like the title says. And welcome back everyone to the Anime-Versal Reviews podcast. It's horrible to say during the title, but obviously we were off a couple of weeks because nobody knows what the hell's going on at Funimation. To be honest, we were first led to believe that we were going to be 2 weeks behind, so we wouldn't run into any gaps. And then it was like, oh, oops, there might be more gaps.
Yep.
Yeah.
So basically, what I will do is Funimation releases their schedules they are supposed to release their schedules via Twitter and Facebook on a certain day. I don't remember the day. It's in my calendar. Anyways, I'll keep an eye on that. You guys follow me on Twitter at that Kyle Malone, or the LRM Twitter, which is at LRM_exclusive, and I will let you know if there's going to be an episode and of Dr. Stone and an episode of Anime-Versal that week. With that said, welcome back my co-hosts, Christine.
Hello.
And Brian.
Hey.
How you been, bud?
Pretty good. Waiting on this episode.
Yeah. I know, right? Christine, how you been? I mean, I know how you been, but tell the audience how you been.
Good, I guess. Hanging in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If anyone doesn't know, we live together in horrible sin. Not that we're not married. We're definitely married. It's just like, we listen to death metal. We watch horrible, evil.
Lots of profanity.
Movie. It's hockey season, so like, are we past 30? Yeah, we're past 30 seconds. So fuck is like every other word.
I know, our poor kid.
Brian said that when I messaged him from Afghanistan, dude, I'm gonna have a kid. He's like, that poor kid. Oh man. And so we're here to talk Dr. Stone, and you guys have been hanging out with us. We really appreciate our audience. And I actually really dug this episode. It's a great episode that I kind of wish that they would add one more episode to the Stone Wars, just to make sure that we get enough. I don't know what else is going to happen, but like, this was a good episode. I just hope it doesn't cost us something down the road. What was your initial reaction, Christine?
I really liked it. I was kind of worried, like jumping like toward the end, that things weren't going to work out. So I was just kind of like, is this going to be okay? But I mean, I did enjoy it. So
there you go, Brian. What was just your initial take on it?
I thought it was extremely clever. The bulk of the drama happening over the phone. And,
yes.
and not knowing what was going to happen, and it's just characters standing there talking, and the back and forth. I thought it was one of the more clever episodes because of that.
Absolutely, that's a really really good way to put it. I didn't think about how much really did take place on the actual plot progression happened on almost all on the phone. It was awesome. That was really cool. -1. If it were a live action movie, we'd call it a set piece, but -1 really actiony piece. You're right. It's all on the phone, which was really interesting and cool. And I don't have, oh yes, I do. I have an entire thing right there. Anyways, it's,
hold on. The thing is a pencil, just so you know. He was trying to grab a pencil.
Yeah. There we go. I had to write a couple things down anyways. What's cool here is they managed, Brian, to give us enough. I think they managed to give us enough Tsukasa without sacrificing any Senku, and I'm kind of willing to accept it as a compromise. If you're unwilling to spend an entire episode in Tsukasa's camp, here we got backstory on two of his members, a lot more on one than the other, but still we learned a lot about what goes on and who he has woken up. Is this a good compromise for you, Brian?
Yes, it is, because like you said, we're getting that background on who's works with him, and even their backstories and what motivates them. And now at this point, I've been complaining about it this whole time as far as Tsukasa, but now there's become more of a mystique around him.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which is sort of starting to work for me at this point.
Yeah, for me, I think that I know enough about him where I don't need to hear what he has to say. I need to know what's going on around him, but I don't need to hear much from Tsukasa right now. So I think that they did a really good job with this episode. I didn't need, anything else. I liked what I got.
Yeah. So the episode opens up with Taiju and Yuzuriha hanging out in Tsukasa's group. They do their normal thing over at the grave, and we relive what we saw at the end of the last episode, including that they were, being spied on. And Taiju, but before he reaches in the ground, in the last episode, we just see him reach in the ground, grab the phone, and there's the real emotional reunion. And this time, we see that he actually he has like a conversation with Yuzuriha beforehand. And he's like, I got a plan. And he just grabs the phone through the dirt, and you're just left there like, oh my God, what are you doing? And during their conversation, he starts doing this I am Senku thing. And I think he was trying to say, like, I am happy to hear you, Senku, or something. But all he could get, he had like a Hodor moment, Brian.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's a pretty cool opening. Senku explains, I've got an idea. I need you to get someone to bring to the phone. We're going to try to convert some people, but you got to play dumb. I'm not telling you the plan. And Taiju only wants to know one thing about it, and that's if this plan will help spare lives. And to me, that means Taiju and Taiju and Yuzuriha, not only are they still decent people, but they probably have friends in Tsukasa's empire that aren't bad people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like they can see where it's, they're not quite, the same as
Tsukasa.
Thank you. Yes, I don't know why I keep blanking
and some
on
of his
that.
goons.
Exactly. So it's they think they know who, oh, we should talk to these people first.
Mm-hmm. Is that part of what you think is going on there, Brian?
Yeah, definitely. And like we've talked about every single one of these discussions, that's a theme of this season. The Kingdom of Science does not want to shed any blood, and that has come up every single episode, including this one. So to me, that has some weight as to, what could be coming. But yeah, I would agree. They've been there over a year, so I'm sure they have friends.
Definitely. I made I am Spartacus joke. I thought for certain that they were just going to play off that they were legitimately talking to the dead, but before too long, well, actually, we learned that there's a lot of trust between Taiju and Senku, because when Senku asks him to, don't ask questions, play dumb, go with whatever I'm saying, just it's true. Everything I say is true. Don't question it. And who was it that question? It was Kinro. What? No, Ginro, the blonde guard. He's like, are you like? That's a lot to put on someone. And that's when Taiju asks the question about the bloodshed. I like the trust thing between them, and I even like them showing Ginru having trust issues even after everything he's gone through. I mean, he came to the rescue at the sulfur pit,
Yeah, it's the relationship that Senku and Taiju have is, they understand each other so well. So like when Senku says, like basically your ignorance is part of this plan. I need you to not know. So it's kind of like that. Oh, okay. So you need my reaction to be a part of this. Like he can just understand his friend so well. So it is trust, and it is kind of like they know each other's minds so well that he can figure out enough of the plan. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. So I guess like maybe for the villagers, they don't understand that yet because they don't know him.
Yeah, they still have a very familial relationship, Brian, in that village. Like, even though there's multiple families, it's very, very small. She says a year ago, Kohaku says there's like 40-ish adults, and that's not including elder adults. So
yeah,
I can definitely see that, Brian. You too?
Yeah, definitely. And it was also the idea that they know, like, wow, y'all haven't communicated in a year, and yet that loyalty, that friendship is still as strong. And that was sort of impressive to the village.
Yeah, they're not used to plotting and planning, so this is still new territory for them too. So,
yeah, definitely. One of my favorite parts of the episode comes up next, and that is the kind of showdown with new character. Well, not new name, Yukio, the yellow capped archer with the incredible hearing. He appears to be the guy at a listening station in the is it the intro or the exit credits? The intro credits. He's got Gen and Magma and Chrome corralled into a grassy area to where if they move, his good hearing will help him be able to snipe them out. And you can see like arrows all over the place. And I was almost worried because the way they set that up is before that scene happens is Senku asks if Taiju or Yuzuriha saw any signs or messages from Gen. And they're like, no. And they're like, oh, crap. That means they had to get out in a hurry. And if they had to get out in a hurry and they're not here, uh-oh. And when I started seeing arrows, dude, I expected to see blood, Brian. Did you?
Not really. I didn't think that would happen off camera. No. I knew. I assumed pretty much what happened, that they would be pinned down.
Okay. You didn't think there'd be blood, Christine?
If there was, like, I didn't think of that, but like if there was, it would be like just like a very minor injury. I think, like not like anything major. Yeah,
like an inconvenient shot, something to weigh them down. That's what I was thinking, But the pin down is great because it offers. We got that. We got that backstory, but we also we get to see Chrome do something very cool. Oh wait, but before that, I like Magma's plan to use Chrome as a human shield, and he he starts yelling at him like, you're not willing to die for the cause? Come on, man.
It's funny because Magma is a very, dangerous character in many ways. The show has shown us, but lately they've been playing him as more of a comedic relief, which is fine. It works for me. But yeah. I did love the line about not willing to die for your cause.
Yeah, it was cute.
But I love Chrome, who, late last season, he finally stopped calling himself a sorcerer and called himself a scientist, realized that he has that one extra battery left over, and knows enough about batteries and electricity that he knows how to connect the ends in such a way to cause the wire to heat up, which in that dry grass causes smoke and noise, and then he's able to run around, and they basically want to disguise Gen getting away because he's supposed to pretend to be what's her name,
Lillian.
Lillian. Yep. And Magma realizes what's going on and joins in the fun, and it messes with Yukio, and he really can't do anything, but it's kind of scary, Brian, because you were the first one to mention death and wondering if we would see anyone die during our season 2 prep show. We see an arrow shot, and in a classic anime trope, a projectile will break smoke or dust or something before it hits someone. It's like a tension builder, right? Yeah. And we see Magma and Chrome bump into each other, and then all we see is Gen running. I'm gonna go Christine first. Now, do you think potentially one of those two guys has been hit, and we'll see that next episode?
I don't know. I think maybe Magma will save Chrome right before getting hit, or maybe something like that. I don't know.
Again, I don't mean die. I mean hit in any fashion.
I know what you're saying. Yeah. Maybe something like that. I don't know.
Brian, what do you think? Because they make a point. Like I said, that arrow comes through this. How many Gundam's swords or laser blasts or key blasts from Goku have come through the smoke in the exact same way to hit a target, right?
Yeah. I was surprised that they hit us with that cliffhanger and didn't go back. That was early in the episode, and it was one of those we're not going to tell you what happened. So yeah, I definitely think it's important. What exactly is going to happen, I don't know. But yeah, if blood is drawn, if somebody is wounded severely, will that change the approach going forward, or could something else that we're not even expecting happen in terms of them getting communication to I forget the archer's name, but the archer
Yukio,
and maybe something else happens. I don't know, but yeah, you're completely right in that. No, they did that on purpose. And clearly there's going to be something important with that scene that plays out, I'm assuming, in the next episode.
Yeah. Who knows? It could be two episodes away, but
could be,
definitely there's going. That's a setup. This is no WandaVision stuff either. That's a legit anime must happen in some form or fashion if you have an action scene. Give it up for Chrome, though, dude. Going no Kasuke to bounce an idea off. Doesn't talk to Chrome. Just let me think as a scientist. What do I have in my bag? I've got a battery. What can I do with a battery? It uses electricity. Electricity can make heat in a wire. We watch those burn in the light bulbs, and we're in grass. Grass catches. It's Isn't it awesome to see him do to Senkyu Jr.?
Yeah, it's just so ingrained in his brain now that that's what he thinks about. Like it's not difficult. It's easy for him to come up with plans now because he's done this for so long, a whole year of science knowledge that he's learned.
And I don't think he's super buffed, and I don't think he's nerfed, Brian. I think Chrome has been handled incredibly well during his arc. What do you think?
Yes, absolutely. Like you said, he's now problem solving and using science and his knowledge to get out of situations, and it's a great character growth.
Yeah. We get to get back to the Kingdom of Science, and out of nowhere, Kasuke's just decided to invent the spring. And
yeah.
I could see him toiling around and thinking about gears and thinking how a bouncy gear might be beneficial. He's a craftsman, so that means he knew how to make a balanced bouncy circle, but he didn't know what it could be used for,
Yeah, like, look what I made.
And it's like, now they've got, if you notice the American subtitles for the translation of the classic RPG item acquired screen that they use, it calls it a clock spring, I believe.
Yeah.
Yes,
so I think, in addition to it being actually used as a spring to assist in the smoothness of the record player, now we get to talk about time potentially coming into play, Brian, like synchronized time. That's a big deal.
Yeah,
I'm almost positive. You're exactly right. I think that's exactly where this is going.
What do you, I mean, other than the obvious, hey, everyone set your watch for, 45 minutes or whatever. Even just the introduction of real time, not just sun up to sundown, is a game changer for the Stone World as they move forward.
Mm-hmm. It's a big deal. I'm ready to see what they make, and I'm curious on what the watches are going to look like.
Well,
if they're going to make watches.
Think about the further implication, and this is the 12 series army guy in me, but tick tick boom.
Oh. Well, no.
I'm thinking timers on
as distractions, maybe.
Distractions, or to in place obstacles. You set timers so rocks will fall as you're leading an enemy to or away from an area. Brian, are you feeling me on that one as well?
Yeah, definitely. From strategy, strategy in general, this is going to give them a lot of options. And you're right, timers and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
Cool. So they Taiju decides to pick this blonde, who we find out, excuse me, her name is Nikki the guard. She was the one that was tasked to watch them, and in the opening credits, she's the blonde schoolgirl that is sitting sad in a tunnel, it looks like. Maybe under an overpass.
Yeah. I think that's what that was.
Yeah. He goes to talk to her, and he's like, I need to tell you something. And she's like, if the next words out of your mouth aren't yes, ma'am, after telling him, that she doesn't want to hear anything, she's only there to watch him. And Yuzuriha, he keeps talking, and she beats the crap out of him. And he finally convinces her to go listen to what his friend has to say. After she realizes, hitting him again and again, it's just, not gonna get him anywhere. And Gin makes it back just in time to put on his Lillian show. And lo and behold, Nikki, he is a Lillian stan.
Very big fan. Yes, she was so excited to hear Lillian's voice. And, but yeah, it was kind of like, I had that feeling of, this is so cruel. I don't like this. This is so mean. Like, Brian, what did you think?
Yeah. Well, especially at that beginning part. Yeah, the fact that, she thought it was real, and then, I mean, the way it played out was fine, but also all the U.S. stuff, like, yeah, USA's coming, save the day, and all that stuff. I was like, yeah, that's pretty mean too,
Yeah.
They think that there's the possibility that the old world could be back, and that you don't have to live in this stone world.
Mm-hmm. And that help is coming is a big deal. But they went over that, and we discussed this devil's bargain for this plan between Gin, Chrome, and Senku last episode. But she kind of Nikki, that is, after testing Lillian knowledge, which
she was suspicious.
She was suspicious, but bravo Senku for figuring out sales based on what he remembered her net worth being, and how much an artist earns on average from tours versus merchandise, and like figures all this out, and Gin is able to use his mentalism and that round number to convince her of that. And then she asks about her measurements,
which was weird.
I'm a huge fan of several people. I don't know any of their measurements of anything.
Yeah, that's kind of a weird question to ask. And then you would think it'd be something more personal, like what was an obscure thing from an interview, like this one thing that she mentioned, instead of it being like
song
multiple
written about so and so.
Yeah, what does it mean and stuff like that. But no, it's physical measurements.
What was up with that Brian? Do you think that's an Eastern thing, or do you think that's a Eastern thinking it's a Western thing?
That's maybe, I don't know, but my favorite part of all of those interactions was we have three options, and then it's the best line of the episode. There's a fourth option, be right. And I was like, damn.
Right.
I was like, oh shit. Like that I was impressed by it. I was like, whoa, that was cool.
And that makes sense. If you think about it, if you do know at least the net worth based on the price of something somebody purchased, and roughly how they could make money doing their job, you could see how he could get in the ballpark,
Yeah.
I don't know if he would necessarily be 5 to 10 million in the ballpark, but maybe 15 to 20 million in the ballpark. If somebody was like able to guess, you sold between 45 and 60 million records, I would say congratulations on that.
Mm-hmm.
But then he has to figure out those sizes, and he does it based off of a picture from a cell phone that Bakuya sent during his train up with Lillian for their trip on the Soyuz up to the ISS. And he gives the figures, and there's this whole kind of meta joke about how airbrushing and Photoshop is used on like social media and celebrity pictures in like albums and magazines.
Yeah.
So
and a lot of it not in control of the artist, but other people doing it, and
that's stuff. Actually kind of like I felt not as much a swipe maybe towards the West. I actually kind of found that potentially being a swipe at some of the Eastern beauty standards, being So like unattainable. What do you think, Christine?
I think it's just all,
just in general,
like all of it. Like I think it's not just East and West. It's just in general. Everyone's
Well, I was
having a hide
figuring because it's an Eastern thing, and I know that they also have their own issues with it. I thought maybe
we do here.
Oh yeah,
and a lot of people.
We do too.
Yeah. You like the Photoshop fails, and those can be pretty funny, but it's also kind of sad. It's like you don't need to look like that. That's really weird. Why would you want your waist to be that tiny? It's inhuman. Like it's okay to look like a person.
I don't know, Brian. Why did you want your waist that tiny at one time? And that was such a weird outfit you had. I'm not quite sure the yellow and that pink went together, but you know, whatever. Who? Never mind. I had another joke, but it's gone. Let's see.
Yeah, Nikki got mad.
Nikki gets upset when she figures it all out, of course, but at the same time, they play the record for her as kind of like a last ditch effort to keep her on the hook, and she's basically like tells the story of what a lot of people in high school deal with and find some sort of relief in music, a specific song or a specific band, maybe it's a specific albums, something, and she tells it's definitely not the music I would cry into my pillow. I don't cry. If I do, it's blood and glass, but and nails every now and then. But I get it. Like I know what that's like, and I know what it's like to hear a song and have it instantly make everything just a touch better. And so sometimes that's all you need. And she asks Senku to come clean. Can you restore more of her music? And he says, probably not. It's probably all gone. Everything was stored digitally. Tapes are eaten away. Vinyl's been eaten away. Maybe there might be a gold master out there somewhere that was preserved in a proper, area because it, was in the right container and it fell into a cave, so nothing got it too hot or too cold or any. But he's honest with her and he says, "But I'll tell you what, this song, this record, I will protect with my life, not just because I need it, but for you and your assistance as well. I promise that." I thought that was a pretty cool deal to make. Brian, what'd you think?
Yeah, because they had a few. They showed us the battery and you had the spring, but in terms of inventions, this episode really didn't have that main central one. Instead, it was the idea of preserving history. His life is on the line to keep this music safe. This is a piece of their history, and I thought that was like you said, I thought it was a really, really strong moment in the show.
That is a completely new thing. I didn't think about that, Christine. Preserving, because we're always looking at him trying to get back to the future, but here he is trying to protect something from the past.
Yeah, an important piece too. Like with Nikki, she's, this really speaks to her. When you see, when you're watching this while she's talking about the song and how this woman, what she means to her, you could see like band-aids on her face and bruises. So she's, been bullied, clearly, and they picked the right person, obviously, to speak to first. Taiju did, because they're surrounded by a bunch of what are probably we're probably bullies. big and they seem kind of scary, and there's a lot of them there, so she's kind of stuck in that environment. And who else is stuck in that environment to where the strong and the weak and all of that. So I don't know how that's gonna play out, but it was cool to see, like, how much that meant to her, and just that the few images that they showed, it really showed like what was going on in her life. So
yeah. Brian, you want to add anything, any insight or anything like that?
No, just like the power of music and the that's a connection to the old world, and the fact that that record, that's it. There is nothing, like you said, as far as they know, there is no music that survived. And so this is it, and how important that is, and what you had talked about earlier, as far as I think we all can relate to certain bands or music that helped us through those rough patches and growing up and in our youth and hell shit today. But the show did a good job of showing all that.
Yeah, definitely. I like your aspect. I've always found it funny how by reaching into his own past, he's taking the stone world into the future, which is his path. It's a Back to the Future thing. It's funny, but that his history thing, Brian, that's why we love having you on the show. Christine brings up a great point. Nikki says, yeah, sure, I agree. I'll join your crew, since you'll protect that. She unveils her Stone World outfit, and I love how Christine brought up that Taiju knew who to pick. But there's another point and a reason why Christine thought about her, and that was what, Christine? What about the other people? They might be you said
what did I say?
Upset, like not like,
yeah, like they're not happy
there you go.
with where they're at, with being around these men that really freaking scary,
Or you mentioned the girl that was all.
Yeah, there was one girl. They showed, it was
Season
last,
one.
yeah, the last season, season 1, where she's just kind of like laying around. She's kind of like there for her looks, just getting by on her looks. She's just like, I don't have to do anything. I'm just laying here, and I love this world. It's paradise for me. And while all the men were like trying to gather food, and it's like all that they're reviving, it seems, is the tough guys and the pretty people, the athletes, the alphas in society. So it's
almost like the bad guys from World War II, Brian.
Yeah.
Oh man, which this would not be the first anime to allude to the bad guys from World War II, to Hitler and his Nazi folk. Full Metal Alchemist is a giant, not parody, but parallel universe version of the rise of Nazism and stuff. And then you look at the other side of the gate in Full Metal, and that's what's going on the other side of the gate in our world, in our past. It's interesting how much resentment there is for that alliance during that time,
Mm-hmm.
So that was pretty much the episode. I don't think I missed anything in the episode, right? I don't
No,
think
I think you
so.
covered
That was it.
The one thing I think about this, Brian, I want to know, do you think Nikki just gave Gen, Senku, and Chrome their souls back? Did she just help them save face, maybe?
What do you mean?
With their plan was to fake as many as they could with Lillian's voice. Do you think, since now they have a real insider, not the suspicious Taiju and Yuzuriha, but Nikki now is a true Tsukasa insider. Can she keep Gen and Senku from being hated?
That's a good point. I didn't even think about it. You're right, because she figured things out and is in on it, basically, and now, she may have closer ties because she seemed pretty loyal, at least at the front of the episode, to the Kingdom of Stone or whatever. And so, yeah, you're right. She may be now an influence that's going to help bring others in. I'm very curious to when other guys, even the villains, when they start seeing some of this tech, are they going to be like, you know what? Ramen sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
So I am curious to, once these two sides start interacting more, because look, it just took one lengthy conversation for them to win her over. As soon as Senku can reach out and communicate with people, I think he may be able to bring more on board than not, potentially.
What do you think, Christine? Do you think at the end of the Stone Wars, Senku will remain mostly unblemished? Senku and crew.
Yeah, I think she definitely protected him from that. Like she realized that I see what you're doing, but I'm in. Like I'm not that mad about it. I see what's up. I see this phone. I see I've heard the record, and it means so much to me. But yeah, like I kind of like that. I'm not that mad.
Yeah.
Cool.
The only thing I have to wonder, and Brian brought up a good point, once the others start seeing some of the tech and stuff, I wonder for them, is that comfort enough, even though Senku's still going to make you work for it? Like, you get some creature comforts, but there's still work to be done. So it's going to be interesting to see how philosophical this is, Christine. I don't think the Stone Wars are, even though we all are expecting a tank because of the opening credits, I don't think the tank's purpose would be more than anything than shock value or bringing down an obstacle. Like, this is psychological warfare.
Yeah, and like you had just said that, Senku would put them to work, but as things get better and better, it's less and less work. They're going to have, they spent an entire year, with their, like a Kingdom of Stone. So they know what summer feels like. They know what winter feels like. They know what it's like to have to
gather, store
hunt,
food,
and gather,
and salt, and
exactly.
Snow.
And so it's gonna be interesting when they see it all. They're like, oh wow, you guys get to do this, you get to do that. You have preserved food. You've got canning. You've got like the freeze dried food. Like, this is gonna be a lot easier. This is gonna be so much easier for us.
Yeah.
So,
Brian, I didn't look up the creator of Dr. Stone very much. Christine doesn't get into behind the scenes things as much as you and I do. It's not a knock. I'm not. Don't look at me like that. She's gonna.
I'm not.
Help. So calm. No, I'm joking. But I kind of feel a lot of Hayao Miyazaki philosophy in this show, don't you?
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because I'm curious to where a lot of anime at some point will go into politics. And I was thinking okay, they're in the middle of a war, so it's not really super relevant at the moment, but at some point, when we get out of the the sort of idea of science and just living life and the beauty of the world and all that stuff, will we get into the politics? Because once this stuff is settled, do we, and how would Senku approach that? What is his philosophy on politics? Will the show even go there. I'm assuming it will if it sticks around.
Yeah, how will
enough.
land be split?
There's all how do you
colonizing
Absolutely.
and opening new or unlocking new people? I mean, we know the Stone Wars doesn't end it. I know that for a fact. I do not know whether or not for a fact there is a third anime coming out, but I do know for certain that the story is still ongoing, and I think Shonen Jump carries it.
I'm spoiler free. I've gone out of my way not to look
Same
up
here.
anything.
Nothing. I so in love with this show. It's Brian. I'm with you. Christine's with. We don't watch the subs. That's me. I know Brian and Christine would likely be more okay watching the subs.
Yeah.
It's all me because a real quick side story and we'll close it out. I'm doing my first audiobook ever, and it's Heir to the Empire, but by Timothy Zahn. I think the guy that does the readings name is Mark Thompson. Good production value, music, effects. His voice is okay. He's not the greatest sounding Mara Jade or Princess Leia, but his Lando is surprisingly good, and his Han is surprisingly good. To be able to do both of those decent is surprising. But I messaged Mike Stackpole, and I was like, I'm not ready to hear the rogues with voices that aren't what I've designed in my brain. But Brian, does that make sense?
That makes complete sense.
Okay,
that's
what it is for me with anime. I discovered the show with certain voices, and not hearing those voices pulls me out of it. Yes, I can. There's lots of animes I watch subtitled, so I'm not a sub or dub only person. But anyways, guys, thanks so much. Oh wait, no, we got to grade this.
Yep.
A solid episode for me. I don't really have anything to knock against it, but you got to knock it out of the park for an A+, and this could have been maybe a ground rule double. Brian?
I'm going to match that A. It was great. And I brought it up earlier that the fourth option, be right, to me that was one of the greatest lines in the show. I was very it was just a great moment, so an A.
Oh, there you go. There you go. What movie?
What?
Anybody? You just gave me an answer. You're his thing about fourth be right, and it's like, ooh, good answer. What movie? What movie had good oh God, Fight Club guys. When what's his name? He's like, famous celebrity you would fight, and he's like, I'd fight Gandhi. He's like, good answer. Funny story. Find my timeline on Twitter where I jokingly asked Michael A. Stackpole, the writer of the X-Wing books, the same question, sort of. Who would he fight? And his answer is very, very entertaining. I'm not going to give it away. You guys can find me at that Kyle Malone on Twitter. You guys can check out the website, LRMonline.com, every single day. Christine, you didn't get to give your score. Go.
A. Just like y'all.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, sorry.
It.
There
it's
we
okay.
go. A's across the board, people. The YouTube channel, a lot of our podcasts are going to video, and even if they're just a still frame photo, hey, it's all on YouTube and available there. You don't have to switch around a bunch of apps, but we are also available on all of your favorite podcast apps, SoundCloud, Spotify, Google, Apple, you name it, we're there. We're free. Check it out. Please subscribe. Please hit the follow and the bell button so you guys know whenever brand new content goes up. Christine does not do social media, so if you want to yell at her, do it through me. But remember, I'm the husband, and I will hunt. No, I'm joking. But yeah, or leave some comments in the comment sections down below. Brian, however, is expanding things. Brian?
Yeah, I'm on YouTube. The channel's PulpMythos, PulpMythos. That's one word. And I am expanding, but it's a work in progress, so I'll hold out on that announcement.
Okay, then. but you announcing that you're expanding things. There you go.
The announcement before the announcement.
There you go. There's a joke about that song, like a pop culture for reference. I'll have to find it some other day, guys. I don't know when we will talk to you next about Dr. Stone, but as soon as I find out, I will tweet you again at that Kyle Malone on Twitter, at LRM_exclusive. Thank you guys so much for listening. We'll talk to you next time.